considered public. So I don't know if the public can see it or just the people on my channel. I should have really been paying attention more before I started this song. Well, it's August 15th, I think. And it's still hot. It's not as hot, but it's still pretty hot. Pretty hot today in Georgia. It's Friday, and I'm off work. And Brittany gets off work at 4 today. So she'll probably be off work by the time I ride through Alamo. I'll probably be able to pick her up. I don't know, it looks like she might get off work slightly before I make it. Maybe Mom will be brought her home. I gotta find that out once I get in town. I know when I get in town, it'll give me something cold to drink instead of this hot coffee. I might got it sitting unlisted. Dang. Up ahead, that white, silverish like van topped the hill, and the sun was reflecting off of it. It was bright. Today we had a lot of trouble with this old garage door because it was made out of steel instead of aluminum. And it was like, I think it was 340 pounds. And with all the like 38 winds on the spring, it still had, I think, 80 pounds of weight on the door with the tension on there. And we fought with that for a while to fix it because we had to kind of build a strut into the old door. And we had to, we just had to keep going back over there. Couldn't figure out what was wrong with that door. The first time we went there, that type of springs that was for that size door wasn't really working because we were looking at charts for an aluminum door and this was a steel door. But we got it right today. We got it fixed. Got the springs changed. After putting like 38 winds on them, on 2 of them. We built a strut. Put white lightning caulk on the back side of it, pressed it up against the panel, and put like 4 little screws and 4 big ones, and put an operator arm bracket on there, and readjusted the size of the boomerang. The way they had this door built, y'all, was crazy. One, they probably didn't have the right size springs and probably had them overwound, just kind of like we had to do, but worse than what we had to do. They didn't have the boomerang attached right to the garage door. They had the boomerang attached to the strut on the top panel, which had bent the top panel and the bottom panel was bent. And every wheel just about in the track was broke. We've replaced every wheel. We built a strut so we would have a place to put a bracket. We readjusted the boomerang. We had to make 2 or 3 different trips out there trying to figure out what's wrong with that door. We finally got it fixed up. I'm glad Brittany's getting off at 4. Because I'm off work. By the time I get to Alamo, she'll be off work. And I ain't got to wait around for her to get off work. She used to always say like that she missed me more than I missed her. And I'd be like, nah, I miss you more than you miss me. Because I was saying, well, we're apart the same amount of time. You know, she's not seeing me while I'm at work. And I'm not seeing her, so it's the same. You know, she is at the house, I was working. But now she's got a job, and sometimes I come home, and she's at work, and I gotta wait. And it is harder. It is harder to. It's easier to miss somebody while you're working than to miss somebody while you're home. It just seems like the time goes by longer when you're not at work. You know, you don't have anything to really distract you. So now I understand what she was talking about. And now I get it. Y'all in Alamo, I'm not going to say no names, but one of the police in Alamo, you know, his kids buy weed and stuff, so he tested the weed. It had meth in it. Meth in the weed. I guess somebody maybe dissolved some meth in water and sprayed it on the weed and let it soak in there or something, trying to make the weed addictive. So what the hell? That ought to be illegal. It probably is illegal to put meth in weed. I'm sure it's illegal, and it should be. And then you're going to mess up the taste of it, turn it into something completely different. That's just, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Come on, crash into me. That guy looked like he was going to run the red light and keep on going. He pulled, maybe, this idiot talking about illegal stuff while texting and driving. I'm not texting and driving, really. You know, the law is it's got to be hands-free. My phone is balanced on my steering wheel. So I'm not really breaking the law. Of course, I do break some laws. I don't believe in being a total slave. If you follow every law, you're already in prison. You're also a slave. You're also accepting that other people are authorities over you. You know? Like, you know, it's a slave mentality. Obey whatever this other man tells me. These other men are our gods. They tell us what plants and animals we can and can't have. I'm not ashamed of breaking some laws. Some laws you shouldn't even follow. If you follow every law, they'll just make everybody a slave. You have to resist at some point. And some of the things you have to say, now wait a minute. You had to change the whole Constitution to ban alcohol because what's the Constitution say about the federal government's powers? They're limited and defined in the Constitution. So all the things the federal government has legitimate authority to act are defined in the Constitution, mostly to regulate international commerce and war and things like that. The federal government doesn't have the authority for prohibition. They have no authority. And that's why they had to do a whole amendment to ban alcohol and then a whole amendment to change it back. And then they just go ahead and say, okay, we, the federal government, are going to outlaw drugs, which they had no authority to do. And they did it without a constitutional amendment. And how did they get away with it? Because people were stupid, ignorant, and slavish, and just obeyed everything. So, yeah, you know, but, you know, I'm not breaking the law. I'm not texting and driving. My phone is balanced on my steering wheel column. It's not bolted to anything. That's why sometimes I'll take a sharp turn and fall in the floorboard. And I'm driving. Freedom of speech, y'all. I don't delete comments. Deleting comments is for bitches. But you know, it's just whatever, you know. What? It's just, so somebody in the comments, they call me an idiot because I'm saying that it should be illegal to spray weed with meth. And I have no room to have that opinion because I'm driving while my phone's going. Like, come on, y'all. Might be some projection there. I'm a lot of things. I don't know that I'm an idiot. I'm not going to say I'm the wisest. I can do some dumb things. Got some third grade humor sometimes. You know, that is my favorite word, by the way, because no word has as much impact. There's no other word you can say that can result in so much emotional energy, you know? Like, you can say almost any other word. Now, I remember, because see, I was born in 1987. And I remember before satellite TV, nobody hardly had satellite. People didn't cuss around children. Everybody started cussing after it was in TV all the time, right? So used to, when I was a boy, somebody could say bitch or shit or damn. Everybody's heart would be beating. You'd feel the tension in the room, right? But now everybody's numb to it. It doesn't have any effect. There's no word that does that anymore except the N-word. The N-word is the only word that can still invoke so much emotion from people. And it can completely control some people. Some people it can completely control them. But things have the power you give them, kind of, you know? Like I had somebody, they was trying to make fun of me and insult me about some things, about my physical appearance. And I had ideas of stuff I could say about them, but I just didn't. And I just was thinking about it. It's like I really don't care about their opinion at all. So I didn't really have any kind of power to hurt or offend me because I didn't place importance on it. But then some people, they put all of their, like a lot of importance on outside validation. And just a single word can completely throw them off center. Have them hooping and hollering and you can control them. You can provoke them to they'll like commit acts of physical violence because they feel so hurt by one word. And it's really sad and pathetic. It really is. You gotta develop kind of a thicker skin. I'm not saying to go bully people. I'm not saying to be inconsiderate. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that you can't let people throw you off center, and you can't get so, like, people may say, somebody made me do this, or somebody hurt my feelings, or whatever. But there's another side to that. Part of that is your choice. Like, how much weight do you put on what they say? How much do you like, you can make, something could hurt you twice when it could have only hurt you once. Like, let's say if somebody worships and loves pleasure, when they feel pain, they're hurt twice. Once for the pain, and then the pain of not being in a constant state of pleasure. If you were more stoic, it wouldn't really affect you the same kind of way. It wouldn't really throw you off center the same kind of way. So it's part of your responsibility. I'm not saying that it's okay for people to, be a bully and say mean things to you. But part of it is on you to develop kind of thicker skin and emotional control, and to also, like, if you know who you are, when somebody calls you something that's not what you are, you shouldn't let it affect you too much. That's why I let a lot of things roll off. A lot of people will say a lot of things and accuse me of a lot of things. But, like, why let it get to you? If you know who you are, what's the matter? Say the word. I want to really bad. And I do say the word every day, multiple times a day. I really do. Because I'm kind of taunted, They're like, you can't say this word, but we're going to say it 900,000 times. And it's like, you know how YouTube is since the Jews bought it? I could say that word and they take my whole channel. But I don't know if they will. It seems like they're giving us enough rope to hang ourselves these days. They're working on the anti-Semitic, all that legislation to put us in prison for saying things against the Jews. And they never let you say it. They used to always ban you, and now they're letting us say it. It's kind of, I don't know what to think about it. Can you say it? Fuck it, I'll say it. I got a First Amendment. Nigger. Nigger damn it. Son of a nigger. I wish I had a nigger slave for my birthday. I don't mean all that. I'm just saying nigger because, why can't I say it? I got free speech. But then, I might lose all the work of my channel over that. So was it really worth it, Like, sure, I have the freedom to say it. But should I? I don't know. And, there you go. Did that make you happy? There, I said it. Now they're going to delete my channel. I'm going to have to start all over. And I probably will, I probably actually will. Because I could say almost anything else. But if I say that one word, there'll probably be a lot of people who watch this when I post it later. They'll report my channel. I'll lose 6 years worth of work over saying one thing. Because some weak people, don't understand sticks and stones, But that's the point of what I'm saying is, Are you? No, I'm not a KKK member. And also don't hate black people. And also don't believe, like, here's the thing, right? One Thanksgiving, right? A black boy was invited by somebody in the family to Thanksgiving. And there were all these people whispering, right? They were saying, you know, and this boy, let me tell you something about this black boy that come to Thanksgiving, right? Perfectly well-behaved, good manners, polite, civilized, respectful, respected everybody, a good kid, right? And there were some people whispering in my step-granddaddy's son from a previous marriage. His boy was kind of telling on his father because his boy saying everything his daddy says in secret that his daddy won't say around a black person. But now you know what his daddy's saying because what his son's saying. And his son is calling the black boy that got invited over to Thanksgiving, calling him a nigger. Now, my opinion is those white people were niggers. Those white people. Because here, you didn't say anything before. You didn't say anything to his face. He's acting respectful. The black boy's acting respectful. He come there in good faith that he was invited. And now you're over here calling him a name and he ain't done nothing. So who's really the nigger? The white people in this case. So I said the word about the freedom of speech and all of whatever. And I'm a race realist. I believe just like how golden retrievers act a certain way, chihuahuas act a certain way. But then I also believe they're all dogs and we're all people. You know, black people are just as much human as white people. Asians are just as much human as white people. And the different races have their different strengths and weaknesses. And I don't believe that one is better than the other. You know, because like I don't know, you could pick one thing and not look at all the other things. You could say, well, we're the best at swimming. And then you could judge somebody else by that and say, well, these people in the Congo ain't that good at swimming. But how long would you last in the Congo? You know what I'm saying? Like, how good are you at, and like the San people. The San people have a low IQ, but their eyes are not fooled by optical illusions. Almost nobody in the world can do that. But the San people can. So I don't believe any race is better than another. I don't believe that any race is more human than another. And I don't believe that you should just disrespect people based on their race or bully people based on their race. You really do need to judge people on a case-by-case basis as an individual. But just like they'll be like, okay, around here in Wheeler County, right? Let's say somebody, you know, gets a little ill and they got kind of a short temper, right? They'll say, that's the Purvis in them. Or somebody act a certain way, they'll be like, that's the white in them. Like they'll say the family names. They understand that certain families have certain characteristics, but then when it comes to race, they're like, no, it can't be. But, you know, I don't have any hatred for any races. And I don't think that one's superior to the other. It's kind of like when you're playing Oblivion or Skyrim or, what is it? Like Elder Scrolls. You start the game, you can pick an elf, you could pick a Briton, you could pick a Nord, and they've all got different strengths and weaknesses. And none's really better than the other. They might be better at certain things. And I think that's the strength of humanity is its diversity. I'm not saying the strength of a society is diversity. The strength of a society is actually unity and homogeneity. But as far as being able to colonize the planet, the fact that we can have an Eskimo in the extremes of the Arctic, or we can have a Kenyan, you know, like if you go to Kenya, they got the ratio of their legs and arms to body is longer than an Eskimo. An Eskimo has short arms and legs to their torso, right? And so if you was to judge the Eskimo in a race, you'd say, well, this Eskimo is inferior because he can't run as fast as the Kenyan. Well, he's got short legs because that helps him hold on to heat in the cold. So this is why I'm saying it's a strength, because if all humans were the same, we couldn't be at the equator and the Arctic at the same time. We have to be different to really rule over the whole planet, all the animals and everything. We have to have different, diverse types of humans. A human that's good for the heat. There's a type of Filipino that's like good at deep sea diving, that their internal organs are different so that they've adapted to being in the depths of the sea. So it's like I'm a race realist, but I'm not a race hater. And I don't think that anyone's more of a human than the other. You know what I'm saying? I'm not I know that the laws of nature apply to humans just like they do animals. And I have no delusions about it, you know. I know that no two individuals are the same, no two families are the same, no two races are the same as far as like exactness. You know what I'm saying? But no one can say I am more human than the other. And no one can say, well, we should rule over the others. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in empire. I believe it that each nation should be ruled over by their own nation, that no nation should try to rule over other nations. I don't believe that any race is fit to rule over any other. I don't believe any individual is fit to rule over the majority. I think that humans have kind of left their realm. So, you know, I think that animals and humans are like the apex animal. Humans are supposed to be an organizing principle on earth ruling over the animals, not each other. And we get outside of our own realm of authority and we try to control each other. We try to conquer each other. And it's really not what we're supposed to be doing. We should be at peace with one another, trade with one another. And see, that's the ideal. If we were at peace with one another, traded with one another, the Eskimo can't live in the Congo. The people in the Congo can't live in the Arctic, but they can trade with their neighbors and they can benefit from each other through peace and trade. And so I'm not, what? Yeah, I'm going to lose my channel though. Because of a dare. They were like, say it, say it, say it, say the N-word, say it, say it, say it, say it, say it.
Nigga.
and then they asked me if I was in the KKK or not. But I said, no, I don't believe. I think that there's differences, but everybody's human. I was talking about how like Eskimos, they got shorter arms and legs. They can stay in the cold. They can be up there. But
they made
yeah. I don't have any kind of hatred for any type of anybody.
They adapted to their environment over time. They
Yep.
evolved.
Yep. And but I just got off. Oh, it's hot. Is it for you? Yeah.
It's so hot. I can't just open it for us.
The sun attacked me when I was walking out the shop to the work building. It was like it was melting me like I slept.
And then listen, if you start like about to burn too hot, the wind will blow like it's just.
That's when God has some mercy on us. It's the other wind. That's my follow, Mike. But I don't want to get off.